In this chapter, we are going to talk about the VNet peering, and for this demo, we are going to peer two separate VNets in our Azure cloud. Before we jump into the demo, let's take a look how our peering setup gonna look like. Let's take a look onto the VNet setup in our Azure cloud. So this outer box, which is Azure, which denotes our Azure cloud. Inside that, we are having a resource group. So that is a logical grouping of our resource. So we are going to create a resource group within our Azure cloud. And within that resource group, we are going to create a two VNet. So on the left hand side, you can see there is a one VNet. We are going to name it as a dev demo VNet Europe North because I'm present in Europe region. That's why I'm just going to denote it with the Europe North so that I can identify. So this is going to be our one VNet. Second VNet we are going to create on the right hand side, which you can see that is also going to be named test demo VNet Europe North. So these are the two VNet with the separate IP ranges. So IP ranges we are going to start with 10.0.0, and for test demo VNet we are going to start with the IP range 11.0.0.0. So these are the two different IP ranges we are going to assign to these VNet. And once we create this VNet, then we are going to take a look like how we can create a peering between these two VNet so that these VNet resources can communicate with each other. Let's start everything from the scratch, and the first thing which we need to create is we need to create our resource group. A short pause over here. If you're liking this Azure series, then I have recently launched my Udemy course, which includes 60 plus chapter, and I always keep on adding new chapter to that particular Udemy course, which you can see over here. And this course will take you from a beginner to the advanced level. So if you really want to excel your cloud journey in Azure, then please considering checking out this particular course, and I'll post the link of this particular course into the description section. Now let's get back to the topic. So here onto the diagram, which you can see, I can highlight it over here also. So this Azure account we are already having. The next thing which we need to create into this particular diagram is the resource group, so that all of our VNet belongs to one resource group as well. Let's jump to the Azure portal, and I'm assuming that you have already signed up for your Azure cloud. So here, once you sign up, so this is the dashboard which you will see, and in the search box you need to type resource groups. So here click on resource group over here, and here we need to create a resource group. Since we are doing a demo for a peering, so I'm just going to put a resource group name something related to peering. So here click on create. And here, this is the subscription which is responsible for my billing. So this subscription which I have already created, and once you sign up for Azure portal, then you are gonna get your own subscription which is connected with your billing or a credit card, so that whatever resource you use will be charged again that particular billing account. Okay, so here I'm just gonna create a resource group. So I'm just gonna put VNet peering RG. So I'm just going to use RG as a resource group abbreviation for creating any resource group. So this is the resource group which we'll be using, and that resource group should be present into the one region. And the region I'm just going to use is Europe North because that is nearest to me. But it's up to you, like which kind of a region which you want to use. It's just depends upon your geographical location. So just choose which is nearest to you, or anything which suits your need. So let's search for Europe over here, and here we can see this is the region which is nearest to me. I'm just going to select that one. After that, just click on next tags. So tags are optional. If you need to put any tags, then please assign some meaningful tags to your resource group. Otherwise, click on review and create, and validation has passed, and then click on create resource group over here. And our VNet peering resource group has been created. Now, if you take a look onto this particular diagram, which is over here, so our resource group has been created. And now all of our VNet, which is this one as well as this one, these two VNet are gonna be created inside this particular resource group. So all of these are going to belong to this particular resource group which we have just created. All right. The next thing which we need to do is we need to create our VNet. So let's take a look onto the VNet. So here, this is our first VNet which we need to create, and the VNet IP range is 10.0.0.0/16. So that is our CIDR range. And the name of our VNet is dev demo VNet Europe North. So this is the name which we are going to keep for our VNet. And second VNet we are going to create is the test demo VNet Europe North, and the IP range for that particular VNet is 11.0.0.0/16. So let's get back to our Azure portal. Click on the home, and here in the search box you can type VNet. Click on virtual networks over here. Here you will find the option to create a VNet, so click on that. And here you can see our subscription, and we need to choose the resource group, which is our VNet peering resource group, that is we have created just now. The virtual network name, so here I'm just gonna put dev demo VNet. Let's verify the name. So dev demo VNet Europe North. So I'm just gonna use VNet and then Europe North. Then click next over here. And I'm not going to enable any encryption. I'm just going to get the default setting as much as possible because we are interested in learning the peering concept. So let's go and click next. We are going to keep everything optional, and the IP range over here you can see 10.0.0, which is the default assigned by Azure. So I'm just going to stick with this one because our IP range in the diagram also says the same thing. Okay, so I'm not going to change anything. And the subnet part, I'm not going to use the default subnet. I'm just going to create the subnet later. So let's delete this subnet from here. Click next over here. Tags are optional. It's up to you. If you have some meaningful tags, then please assign it. Click next. And our validation, I think, has passed. And after that, just click on create over here. So here you can see our VNet is just getting deployed and it is in progress. So I'll be back once this VNet is up and running. And here you can see it is quite quick. So our VNet deployment had just finished. So I'm just gonna go to the VNet dashboard over here, click on virtual networks. And here you can see our dev demo VNet Europe North is ready. And in a similar fashion, I'm just going to create a test demo VNet Europe North with 11.0.0.0/16 IP range, which you can see from here. So I'm just going to create this particular VNet over here. So which is this one. Let's get back to Azure portal, and here I'm just going to go to the VNet, click on virtual network. Click on create because it is the same setup which we have done for our dev demo VNet. So here I'm just going to use the resource group which is same, and here I'm just going to put test demo VNet Europe North. Click next, and also keep in mind region should be the same. So I'm just going to select the North Europe region. Click next. I'm just going to click next. I'm just going to skip all of these settings. And the key thing over here, the IP range. So if you take a look over here, then the IP range is 11.0.0.0/16. So I'm just going to stick with this IP range, which is 11. So I'm just going to change this one, and I'm just going to remove this default subnet because these subnets we are going to create later. So delete this particular subnet, click next over here. Tags are optional. Click next, and then click on create, and this will create our test demo VNet Europe North. And here you can see our test demo VNet Europe North is ready. Let's get back to the diagram once again, and here you can see I'll put my drawing over here. So we have created a resource group, we have created a VNet which is our dev demo VNet and test demo VNet. Both the VNets are ready. The next thing which we need to do is we need to create our subnet. So here you can see there is a one public subnet in both the VNets. So we need to create one public subnet, and then we are going to create a one private subnet in each VNet. So here you can see these are the private subnets. So let's get back to our Azure portal and create our public and private subnet in both the VNets. Here is my Azure portal. Go back to home, click on VNet over here, go to virtual networks. First select the dev demo VNet, and here in the settings section you will find the options for subnets. So click on subnets over here, and here you will find a plus option to create your subnet. So here just click on plus. And here the subnet purpose, keep it default. The name, I'm just gonna choose dev demo public subnet. And the IP range, this is the IP range of our VNet, and starting address here we can change it. So I'm just gonna keep it 10.0.1.0, which you can see from our diagram. So here you can see the IP range for our public subnet is 10.0.1.0. And for private, I'm just going to use 10.0.2.0. Right now, I'm just creating this public subnet. Once I create the private subnet, then I'm just going to use this IP range. So let's get back to our Azure portal. And here I have chosen the 1.0/24, so which will allow me to create or assign 256 IP addresses within the subnet. All right. I'm just going to skip the rest of the things which we don't need it. I'm just going to stick with the default settings. Then here I just need to click on add over here. And this is going to create me a public subnet, which is this one, this public subnet. In the similar way, I'm just going to create a private subnet as well. But here you can see our public subnet is ready. Then click on, I'm just going to copy this name so that I can use the same naming convention for my private subnet. Click on plus over here, and the name, I'm just going to paste it and change it to private over here. The IP range, I'm just going to change it to 2.0, and then I'm just going to go down and click on add over here. And this is how it is going to create me a private subnet within my dev demo VNet. All right, now both of my public and private subnet has been created in my dev demo VNet, which is this over here. Sorry, I just need to get back. Yeah. So here you can see this part is ready right now. So I'm going to work on this one, and then I'm just going to create in the similar fashion the public and the private subnet for our test demo VNet. Let's get back to our Azure portal over here. And here again, go to VNet, click on virtual networks over here. Go to the test demo VNet over here, go to the settings section, which you can see, click on subnets over here, click on plus, and here we need to enter the name. So I'm just going to put test demo public subnet. The IP range, I'm just going to choose 1.0, which you can verify from the diagram, 11.0.1.0. And rest of the things, I'm just going to keep it default. Click on add over here. And here you can see it is just creating. So here our public subnet is ready. Click on plus again. And here I'm just going to use test demo private subnet. And the IP range, I'm just going to choose 2.0, and which you can verify. Yeah, it's 2.0. And after that, you just need to click on add over here, and it is going to create me a private subnet inside my test demo VNet. And here you can see both the subnets within the VNet are ready. After creating the private and public subnet, let's move ahead and see what is the next component which we need to create. So here you can see in the diagram, the next component is we need to create a route table, and the route table, we need to create 4 route tables. Why? Because we have 4 subnet in both the VNets. So each subnet needs a route table so that we can route the traffic to that particular subnet. So here for the public subnet, we are just gonna create a public route table. Here I have not kept the name because the space was really limited. So this is going to be our public route table, but here this particular route table denotes a private route table over here for private subnet. So we need to create 4 route table, 2 for public subnet and 2 for private subnet, both in our test demo VNet as well as in our dev demo VNet. Let's get back to our Azure portal, and here in the search box you can type route tables. Click on the route tables over here, click on create route table. And here we need to choose the resource group. So resource group we are working is VNet Peering, because everything we are going to work within this particular resource group. The region, I'm just going to choose Europe, and it is going to be a North Europe. The name of the route table, I'm just going to put dev demo public, and I'm just going to use the abbreviation RT for route table. I will just go on next, and then click on create once the validation is green. Then click on create, and this is going to create me a public route table for my dev demo VNet. If you take a look onto this particular diagram, then it is going to create me this particular route table for my public subnet. Okay, so let's get back to our Azure portal. So here you can see the deployment is in progress, but in the meantime, okay, so now the deployment is there. So I can just verify once again. So here you can see our dev demo public route table is ready. Let's create one more route table for our private subnet. So here I'm just going to use the resource group, which is VNet Peering. The region is North Europe. The name is dev demo private route table. So this is going to be my private route table. I'm just going to click on review and create because it's just a very simple thing. And after that, click on create over here. And this will create me a private route table. In the meantime, it is getting created. I will just go back to route tables dashboard over here. So here you can see our private and public route table for our dev demo VNet is ready. So if you take a look onto this diagram once again, then this part is done. This route table are done. The next thing is we are just going to create a route tables for our test demo VNet. Let's get back to our Azure portal, and here click on create. And here I'm just going to first choose the resource group, which is this one. Here I'm just going to choose the region, and here I'm just going to put the name. So I'm just going to put test demo public route table for my test demo VNet. Click on review and create, and then click on create. Meanwhile, it is getting created. Let's create our another route table. So again, go to route tables over here. Click on create. It is created. So the public route table has been created. Refresh it. It will pop up in a minute. In the meantime, I'll just go and create my private route table as well. So I'm just going to select this VNet Peering resource group. The region is again the same, North Europe, and here the name is test demo private route table. Click on review and create, and then click on create over here. So it will create our final route table, which is our private route table for our test demo VNet. So if you take a look onto this diagram, so all of our 4 route tables are created. So let's get back to Azure portal once again, and go back to home, and then search for route table, and let's just verify that all of the route tables are showing on the dashboard or not. So here you can see all of our 4 route tables are there. Let's take a look onto the diagram once again, and the next thing which we need to do over here is we need to associate this route table. So this route table is existing, but this route table is not associated with this particular subnet. Same goes with this route table as well. We have created, but we have not told that route table that with which subnet it is associated. So we need to do this association, and that goes same with these and these route table also. So we need to just tell them, hey, you are associated with this subnet, and this route table is associated with this subnet. So this association we need to do. So let's get back to our Azure portal, and let's start with our dev demo private route table. So I'm just going to open a new tab over here. And here, once you open the route table, then in the configuration over here, in the settings section, if you see over here, then in the settings section, you will find the options for a subnet. And here you will find the option for associate. So click on this associate, and this is our dev demo private route table. So we need to associate this particular route table with our private subnet, which you see over here. If you take a look onto this diagram, then I'm just telling about this association. This route table, this is private route table, is associated with this particular private subnet. Okay. So let's get back to Azure portal, and here we have done the association. Click on OK over here. So this will save the association, and it will tell that this particular route table is responsible for this particular private subnet. All right. Let's get back to the home, go to the route tables once again. We have done the dev demo private route table subnet association. Then click on public route table. Again, go to subnets, click on associate, and here it is going to be the public route table. Click OK. And it's done. Same goes with the, from here also you can just jump between the route table. So I'm just going to click on test demo private route table, click on associate. Here change the VNet because we are working in the test demo, and this route table will be responsible for test demo VNet. So select this one, and this is our private. So select the private subnet from here, click OK, and it will take a minute to associate with it. After that, click on the last route table, which is test demo public route table. Click on associate over here, click on test demo, and then click on public route table over here. Click OK over here, and our association is complete. So now if you take a look onto this particular diagram, then we have pretty much associated all of our route tables with our subnet, which is this one. So all of these are done. And the next thing which we are going to see is we are just going to create a peering between these two VNet. Now, what is next? So here we are going to create a peering between these two VNet. Now both the VNets are ready, our subnets are ready, and our route tables are ready. The thing which is left is peering. So the peering will enable the communication between these two VNets. So the peering is not just a one link. We need to create two links to connect these two VNets. So this is just a one tunnel which I'm showing between these two VNet, so that I can simplify this concept that we are going to connect this VNet. I'm just going to use pencil. So I'm just going to use this VNet to connect with this one. And similarly, this peering will help to use this connection the other way also, so that these both VNet can communicate with each other. But how this peering is gonna create it? So for that, we just need two peering connection. One is our local peering. So that depends on which VNet you are setting. So if you are gonna create a test demo, if you are gonna create a peering from a test demo VNet, then we need to create a local peering for that particular VNet. Let's get back. So if you are sitting on a test demo VNet, then the local peering will belong to that particular test demo VNet. But in another way, if you are starting the peering from a dev demo VNet, then the local peering will belong to dev demo VNet. So it just depends upon what VNet you are sitting on and from where you are going to create the peering. Okay, let's not complicate this concept. It's really simple. Let's jump to the Azure portal, and it will make more sense once we will start creating this peering. Okay, so let's go back to our Azure portal, and here on the search box, just type VNet over here, click on virtual networks. And here, let's say I'm just going to use this dev demo VNet to create the peering. So let's click on this particular VNet, and in the settings section, which you can see over here, click on expand this settings section. You will find the options for a peering. So click on peering over here, and here you can see there is no peering right now. So we need to click on add over here, and here we need to enter the remote peering link name. So here, if you take a look onto the diagram over here, so yeah. So here we need to use the remote peering because we are just going to connect from here to here. So we need to mention the name of that particular link. And once we assign this particular name, the second name it will ask is for local peering as well, which is this one. Okay. But anyway, let's first put the name. So I'm just going to use test VNet remote peering link. Okay. After that, I'm just going to stick with the subscription, which is the same. Virtual network, I'm just going to use since we are already using the dev demo VNet, we are sitting on a dev demo VNet, because if you take a look onto this particular diagram, then we are sitting here and we need to create a peering. So we need to create a peering towards this particular one. So that's why in this drop down over here, we need to choose test demo VNet. Okay. After that, we need to allow test demo VNet to access dev demo. That's correct. Allow test demo VNet to receive the forwarded traffic. So I'm just going to check that one also. And if you go further, then here local virtual network summary. So here we need to create a local peering link. So here I'm just going to put dev demo local peering link. And here in the peering setting also, I'm just going to allow the traffic on both the ways. So I'm just going to select that checkbox as well. After that, click on add over here. And here you can see this peering connection is just getting created. And our both the VNets will be connected with each other. And then we are going to test this connectivity with our virtual machines. And here you can see our dev demo local peering link is ready because we are just sitting inside our dev demo VNet, and this peering is okay over here. Similarly, let's go to test demo VNet, and here in the peering section, here you can see test VNet remote peering link, and this is also available over here, and these are green, which means it is fully synchronized and it's fully working. And both of our VNets, if you take a look onto this diagram, are connected with each other. Let's move forward, and the next thing which we are going to do, we are going to create a virtual machines over here to verify this connectivity. So as of now in the diagram, you can see I have created, or I have mentioned there will be 4 virtual machine, but instead of creating a 4 virtual machine, I'm just gonna stick with the 2 virtual machine because the same connectivity will work for other 2 virtual machine as well. And for that, I'm just gonna use the private subnet, which is over here, because in private subnet, you don't assign a public IP. So I'm just gonna use the private subnet of dev demo VNet as well as the private subnet of our test demo VNet to create this particular virtual machine. And once we create both the virtual machine, then we are just gonna use the ping command to verify the connectivity towards the other virtual machine, and the same with this way also, so that we can verify that our both the VNets are connected, our virtual machine are connected with each other in the same network, and they are able to communicate with each other. And the same, once this connectivity is verified, then this same connectivity can be verified with the public subnet as well, because it's exactly the same setup, but the subnet is different. Okay, so here I'm onto my Azure portal, and here I'm just going to type the virtual machines over here. Click on this virtual machines. And here you can see there is no virtual machine which has been created so far. So I'm just going to create a one virtual machine. Click on this virtual machine over here, and here resource group, I'm just going to use the VNet peering resource group. Virtual machine name, so I'm going to put dev demo private VM, so that it denotes that it is running into private subnet and inside our dev demo VNet. Europe North availability zone, that's correct. Zone and trusted launch, I'm just gonna choose the default setting as much as possible. I'm gonna use Ubuntu server as my preferred AMI. You can choose any other AMI. If you want to use Windows, Red Hat, CentOS, then you can just switch the different AMI versions. Size, I'm just gonna stick with the default one so that I get the minimum charges in terms of billing. After that, the authentication type, this is important. So I'm just gonna use the SSH key based authentication. So I'll choose SSH public key, and the user is Azure user. And here I would like to choose the generate new key pair. So it is gonna generate me the SSH key pair, which I'm just gonna use to log into this particular virtual machine. Okay. After that, this is the key pair name. So I'm just gonna change the name dev demo private VM SSH key. So this is the key name which I'll be downloading. This will be generated by Azure, but then it will allow me to download that particular SSH key. Okay, port 22, because I just want to do the SSH, so that's why I'm allowing to that particular port so that we can access that virtual machine on a port 22. So any virtual machine which is of Linux is only possible to access or log in through port 22, so that you can do the SSH, you can perform the login, and then you can do the activity. So this is just a standard concept from a Linux machine. Okay, next, disks. So I'm just going to stick with the default settings. Click next on networking. This is important because here we are going to specify the VNets. If you take a look onto this diagram, so we need to specify, choose the VNet, which is this one, and then we need to choose the private subnet of that particular VNet. So this is important. So here from the drop down, choose the dev demo VNet, then subnet, and here we need to choose the private subnet. Okay. Public IP, no, I don't need a public IP because we are running into private subnet. And rest of the thing we can keep the default over here. Click on next management. Just don't select anything, just stick with the default one because we're just gonna focus on peering. Rest of the security thing we can discuss later. Click monitoring, click advanced, just click next to the tags, review and create. And the validation is green, so just click on create over here. And here you can see it is asking me to download that particular key. So click on download key. And here you can see our key has been downloaded, which we are going to use later on to access into our virtual machine and to verify the connectivity. Okay, so the deployment is in progress. So here, if you take a look onto this diagram, then we have accomplished this part. Okay, now we are going to accomplish this side of the things where we are going to create one more virtual machine inside the private subnet of our test demo VNet. So let's take a look if that virtual machine is ready or not. So here you can see that virtual machine is now ready. Now again, we need to create one more virtual machine, and that virtual machine is gonna be created over here, which is this one. Okay, so let's get back to Azure portal, and here just type the virtual machine. All the steps are exactly the same which we have just did for this particular virtual machine, but let's create one more virtual machine over here. Select this one here, resource group. I'm just gonna choose VNet Peering. Name is test demo private VM. Europe North, availability zone 1, Ubuntu. I'm just gonna go a little fast over here because this steps are exactly same. SSH key, and yes, we need to generate the SSH key. So I'm just gonna use test demo private VM. Let me check the name of previous one. Yeah, so here I'm just gonna use SSH key for downloading that SSH key. Click the port is 22 allowed for SSH. Click on disk, that's okay. Click on networking. Here we need to change it. So here I'm just going to change it to test demo VNet. Subnet, I'm just going to choose private one, which you can see over here. And the public IP, I'm just going to select none over here. Click next on management, and then click next on monitoring. Click on advanced, next on tags, next on create, and then finally you just need to click on create over here, and it will be ready in a couple of minutes. And also don't forget to download this private key also, which we will be using later to access that particular virtual machine. Now, after setting up our virtual machine, the next thing is we need to access one virtual machine so that we can verify the other connectivity with the other virtual machine. So what I will do, I will just try to access this particular virtual machine into our dev demo VNet. And once we access this particular virtual machine, then we are gonna perform a ping command towards this virtual machine so that it will verify this peering connectivity which we have set up between these two VNets. And once this peering is working, then we should be able to ping both the machine successfully. So let's get back to our Azure portal and try to access this particular virtual machine which is present into our private subnet of our dev demo VNet, which is this one. Here is my Azure portal. So go to the virtual machine, just type over here the virtual machines, click on this virtual machine, and here we need to access the dev demo private VM. Click on that one. And here you will find an option for connect. So here we are going to use the connect via Bastion. So I have already explained the Bastion concept in one of the previous chapter. I'll also put the link into the description section. Just go and check that Bastion concept. But this Bastion service is available from Azure. And if you don't have a public IP, so here in this diagram, which you can see, this virtual machine doesn't have a public IP. So you need to use the Bastion service of Azure to connect to this particular virtual machine, which is into private subnet. So in short, that's why we use Bastion service. So here I'm just going to click on connect via Bastion. And it is going to ask me like what kind of authentication you have used. So we have used the SSH key, not the password. So here just select the SSH private key from a local file. And if you remember that we have already downloaded those keys on our local system. So that's there, and the name. So if you remember, then we have used the username for our virtual machine as Azure user. Then here we need to select the virtual machine. So browse that one, and we are using the dev demo. So I'm just going to use this particular key, which you can see over here. So this is the key which I have downloaded, and this is our private key. Click on open over here and then click on connect. And once you click on connect, then that will create a connection and it will open a new tab so that you can access your private virtual machine of our dev demo VNet. And here you can see our virtual machine is accessible and the IP is 10.0.2.4. And if you take a look onto the diagram, so here you can see that our IP range for our private subnet of our dev demo is 10.0.2.0. And the IP address which we got over here is, let me erase this one over here, is this one. So if you take a look, so this is the IP address which we have got for our virtual machine. The next thing is we need to ping the other machine. So here, if you take a look, then we need to ping from here to here. So for that, we need to know the IP address, the private IP address of this particular virtual machine. For that, what I'll do, I'll just go to Azure portal over here, go to this one, go to the virtual machine, go to the test demo VNet. If you can see over here, so this is the test demo private virtual machine. And here we need to find the private IP address of this particular virtual machine. So if you scroll further down over here, then we should see the private IP address, which is this one, 11.0.2.4. So copy this IP address from here, go to this dev demo. We are now into 10.0.2.4 virtual machine. So from here, we need to use the command ping. And then here we are just gonna, I'm just gonna enter the 11.0.2.4 IP address, 2.4. And here you can see we are able to ping that particular virtual machine, which means that our connectivity is working between these two VNets. Similarly, if you do the other way, which means like if I try to access the test demo private virtual machine, I'll just go here, click via Bastion. Here, I'm just going to verify the other way connectivity, which means I'm just going to do the ping from here to here so that we can verify this connectivity as well. We have already verified this connectivity, which is working right now. We are able to ping, and now we are going to verify this particular connectivity from here to here. Okay. So here I'm just going to connect to this particular virtual machine into test demo VNet. And here the username is Azure user. Select the key, which is this one. I'll just drag over here, which is this one. Click open, click on connect over here. It is creating a connection. And we are able to access our test demo virtual machine. And here we are just going to ping the other virtual machine, which is ping 10.0.2. Let me verify the, not 2. It should be, I think, 2.4. So it should be 2.4. And here you can see we are able to do the other way ping also. And both the ping are working. So here from dev demo private virtual machine, and this is from test demo private virtual machine. So with that, we have successfully set up the peering between these two VNets. And just to verify one more thing, that we can destroy the peering connection between these two VNets. So what you can do, just go to VNet, click on virtual network, go to dev demo, go to peering, select this peering, and here you can just click on delete and type delete so that we can verify that once we destroy this peering, then our connectivity should not work between these two virtual machines. So now it is deleting this particular peering from our dev demo VNet. It will take a minute or so to delete this particular virtual network peering. And here you can see it is deleted. So again, verify from test demo. Refresh this one over here. So now both the peering is gone, and let's verify the connectivity. So here I'm just gonna run the same command. Okay, so right now I am sitting into our test demo private VM. So if I run the command to ping the dev demo virtual machine, then it should not work. So here you can see it is trying to ping, but it is not able to ping that other virtual machine. And same here, if I do the ping from here, then it is not gonna work. So that means that our peering is destroyed and it is not, our virtual machine are not accessible to each other. I hope you enjoyed the today's VNet peering session, and if you're interested into the similar concept, then please considering subscribing as well as considering joining the membership of this particular YouTube channel, because there is a lot of different topics which I cover for only for my membership program, which is only available for my YouTube member. So please go and check out those videos as well if you're really interested in learning the DevOps and cloud. And if you have any question, then please put down into the comment section and I'll try to answer those. So till then, take care and bye bye.